Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We are going to be doing a lovely little yin class. If you're new to yin, welcome. We sit in postures for a few minutes at a time and get what I like to say uncomfortably comfortable. So let's just get started. You don't really need any props or blocks or anything like that in the class. If you wish to have some nearby, absolutely go grab them. It's always a great way to enhance your class. So we'll start today's class laying down. So go ahead, take a few moments, really get yourself ready, laying down onto your spine. Feet flat on the floor, approximately hip distance apart. And just take a few moments here, coming into your breath, and just taking a moment to arrive. We're going to take our right ankle and we're going to cross it over our left thigh, really encouraging that right knee to go out towards the bottom right-hand corner of the mat. And just setting yourself up here, allowing the hip to drop open and just feeling, making sure there's no sharp pains or tightness or just really pain. Discomfort is okay, but pain is not okay. I'm going to start our handy dandy timer. I do that because honestly, I could sit in these postures all day long, and we don't want to be sitting in a lot of these postures all day long. We only have so much time in our class, so this just keeps me honest. In this figure 4, you might be okay just right here, just to settle in, or if you're looking for a little more intensity, while keeping the tailbone down towards the mat, you can start to lift through the left leg, maybe taking your hands and holding onto the back of the thigh or maybe the shin. You can always grab a strap too if it just feels a little bit out of distance, just a little out of reach. And we really want to ensure that we're keeping a nice long spine and just setting into our practice. These nice, long, slow holds really allow us to get into the connective tissue. So that's why we don't want to be going to our max in any of these postures, just enough so that you're feeling it. Just trying to sit in stillness. In the discomfort is where the change happens. So if you find yourself trying to distract or your mind is wandering, bring yourself back to this moment with your breath. Nice long, slow inhales and exhales. Finding softness through the brow, through the jaw, through your breath, and your thoughts. Just a few more breaths here. If you have that left leg rise, gently bringing it back down to the mat. And when you're ready, we're gently going to shift the hips over to the right side of the mat and maybe crossing one knee over the other, or maybe even stacking one on top of the other. What feels good for you? What feels safe? Allowing those knees to gently drop over to the left side of the mat. Just noticing whatever comes up, making sure that we're at the right intensity level. Again, maybe your legs are crossed, maybe they're not. This could be too intense. There's nothing wrong with going and just stacking the one knee on top of the other. Just really maintaining that contact with your breath, bringing the arms out to a T or maybe a cactus, and encouraging that right shoulder to stay down and grounded towards the mat. Maybe your knees are propped up on a block, or maybe you have a block in between them. Just doing whatever little adjustments you need so that you can settle into this spinal twist. Let your breath be your guide. If your breath comes easily to you, maybe inviting the body to go a little bit deeper. If you find yourself holding your breath or straining, maybe back out of the pose just enough so that you can maintain that nice, slow, even breath. Full inhales, full exhales. Gently just noticing what's coming up for you in the body. No need to judge, just notice. Just a few more breaths here. Beautiful. Slowly, slowly, no rush. One knee can come up at a time. Gently bringing the body back through neutral. Taking your feet, walking them out wide as your mat, and allow those knees to just drop in. Maybe placing the hands on the belly and just really connecting with your breath. Being present in the body. And when you're ready, we'll set up for the other side. Gently guiding those feet back approximately hip distance. This time taking your left ankle and crossing it over top of your right thigh, encouraging that left knee to go down towards the bottom left corner of the mat. Engaging through the left ankle, ensuring that our knee feels good, it feels safe. Our knee, we need to protect that. You only get one set. And pain in the knees is something that we need to listen to. Maybe you stay right here, or you start to bring in the right thigh, maybe holding on to the shin or the back, the hamstrings, encouraging the spine to stay long, tailbone rolls down towards the mat. Maybe a slight tuck of the chin, encouraging a long spine, and settling into the pose. With every breath in, reminding yourself to soften, and every exhale to release. Just a few more breaths here. If you have that right leg raised, gently bringing it back towards the mat. And again, you can either cross your legs or stack one on top of the other. We're gently just going to shift our hips over to the left side of the mat and allow those knees to drop over to the right, encouraging the left shoulder to stay down and grounded. Using whatever supports we need, whether that's blocks, bolsters, sandbags. Just setting up for this nice spinal twist. Not feeling any pain, feeling safe in our bodies. And breathe. Part of the discomfort of yin is sitting in stillness. So know that if your mind is running all over the place, that this is completely normal. Just gently guide yourself back to focusing on your breath and your body. Certain emotions and feelings and thoughts can be processed right here on your mat. Show yourself patience, kindness, and compassion. And just be. Just one more big breath here. Gently, one knee at a time, coming up, back through neutral, straightening out through the spine. We're going to go ahead and take the soles of our feet together and allow the knees to drop open. Again, if you have any blocks or pillows or anything like that, you might want to put them underneath those knees just to feel a little bit more support in this posture. Feet can be as close to the pelvis or far down as feels good and comfortable and safe for you. And just taking a few moments to set yourself up, any wiggles or little movements before you come into a space of surrender. Deep inhales, full exhales. Soften and release. If your shoulders have started to creep up a little bit closer to your ears, maybe gently walking them back down your spine. Maybe noticing any places of tension and sending your breath there. Soften and release. Just a few more breaths here. Using your hands on the outside of your knees, gently guide them back up, taking your time. Maybe doing a couple windshield wiper back and forths with your knees. Softly rolling to one side. We're going to come on up. Whew. Feel that in the hips. Feels really good. Let's get even deeper. We're going to go into swan. So coming to all fours. First, guiding that right knee in behind the right wrist, and then your ankle comes kind of sort of behind the left. It doesn't have to be completely straight across. Just really allowing that knee to open up through that hip as we start to send the back leg back straight behind. Taking your time, finding the spot that feels good, making sure the knee is protected. And trying to keep those hips as level as possible. Maybe grabbing a block and sending that underneath your hip if you need it. Just set up the posture for how it feels for you in your body. We're going to start to come into a twist from here as well. You can go straight down if you'd like. That's totally up to you. But if you're willing to try this, it feels really, really nice. You're going to take your left arm and weave it through in between your right hand and your right knee, coming back onto that left shoulder. And you can use a block here underneath the head as a little bit of a pillow. Just coming into this nice twist, opening up through the shoulder and the hips. Maybe taking your right hand and placing it on your back. Maybe walking it ahead. Just doing what feels good for you. In Yin, I invite you to leave your ego at the door, not focusing so much on what your posture and what you look like in the pose. That really, at the end of the day, does not really matter as long as you're feeling safe and the pose feels good for you. We're all built with different bodies. And not everybody is going to look the same or feel the same in the posture. Finding softness through your face. And really settling into your breath. Just a few more breaths here. Slowly taking your right hand and placing it in front of your face, pressing into the mat, coming through center, Taking your time, however you'd like to get out of this posture, maybe coming back into tabletop, maybe rolling onto that hip, just whatever you need to do to get out safely. Maybe coming into tabletop pose, running through a few cat-cows, taking a few intuitive moments and movements before we switch over to the other side. So now we're going to take the left knee and bring it in behind our left wrist. Maybe the ankle comes in behind the right wrist, maybe not, maybe it stays tucked in, totally okay. Just inviting that knee to come and allow the hip to open up. And start to walk the right leg back, keeping the pelvis nice and square, taking your time to set yourself up. There's no rush, no rushing in yin. Yin is nice and soft and slow. Excellent. Grabbing that block if you need to put underneath your hip to help you feel supportive. Maybe it's a pillow. And then I invite you to do the same twist if you did it on the other side, this time with your right arm, weaving it in between your hand and your knee. Palm faces upwards, coming onto that right shoulder. Feels nice for me to have this block under my head. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't for you. That's totally okay. Maybe walking that left hand up or bending at the elbow and bringing the hand to the back, to your lower back. And getting ready to just settle in to this beautiful twist. Now, I've been doing yoga for a number of years, and I remember always hearing teachers say twists are to detoxify the body. I even taught that myself. But that's pretty misleading, actually. And the twists don't detoxify your body. Your organs, they detoxify your body. Movements don't detoxify your body. Your organs, that's what they're there for. That's their job. That's their purpose. I think why we say that these yin and, well, yoga postures in general, and twists, detox the body is, I think more, if you think about the lines of when we practice yoga, we increase our circulation throughout the body. So I think that when we are compressing on, the liver and the kidneys, we're allowing increased circulation to those organs. So therefore they can work at their most optimum level. So if you want to say that twists detoxify, just gotta bring it back just a little bit and remind yourself that that's your organs' jobs and you're just here to facilitate, to help keep your organs nice and healthy. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk on twists. A few more breaths here. Take your left hand, place it in front of your face, gently pressing into the mat just enough so that you can come back up. Maybe rolling on that right hip, left hip, wrong side. And we are going to go back to laying on our spines again. So we're going to come into the lovely banana pose, like one of my favorite yoga poses. And yes, I know I say a number of yoga poses are my favorite, but they are. So once you come down onto your spine, you're going to pick up the hips and bring them over to the right side of the mat. walking your feet down the mat. I'm going to bring them over to the left corner. Maybe hooking one ankle over the other, but just really focusing on keeping both hip bones down and rooted. Especially this right one, it seems to want to pop up a little bit, but just gently guiding it back. Then taking your torso and your head and start walking it over to the left side of your mat. So what you're going to end up with is this beautiful banana shape, really stretching out through the right side of the body, compressing through the left. Maybe your palms and hands stay down here by the mat, by your sides, Or maybe inviting them to come up over top of you, only if the shoulders allow, holding onto opposite elbow or opposite wrist. And just settle into this banana pose, noticing what comes up for you. Gently guiding the body back. Your entire back of your spine is on the mat. You're really just making a nice big C or a banana shape with your body. Sending your breath to all the little muscles around your rib cage. And soften and release. Few more big breaths here. You have those ankles crossed, you can gently unhook them. Guide the body back through center. And just take a few moments to notice the difference between the two sides before we start to get into the other way. Bending through the knees, bringing the soles of the feet back onto the earth. Picking the hips up and shifting them over to the left side of our mat this time. Our ankles go down to the bottom right corner, maybe hooking one over the other. Walking your head and your torso over to the right, guiding that left hip back down towards the mat. Left shoulder stays grounded. Palms can stay, or arms, can stay down by your body. Or maybe invite them overhead, holding on to opposite wrist or elbow. As we breathe and expand through the left side of our body. Staying connected with the breath. Have you gone too far in the pose? Or is your body inviting you to go just a little bit deeper? Have that discussion with your body. Open that line of communication. And then soften and release. Just a few more big breaths here. If you have your ankles hooked, gently releasing them, guiding your body back through neutral. Take your legs nice and wide, allow the feet to flop open. We're going to set up for our final resting posture of Shavasana. So take up some space, palms shine up towards the ceiling, shoulders come rolled back and down the body. Take a big inhale together through the nose. Exhale, side out, let it go. One more. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh, let it go. Soften through the face, your brows, your jaw, your breath, and your thoughts. And simply surrender. Slowly bring some awareness back to your surroundings. Wiggling through the fingers and the toes. Rolling out through the wrists and the ankles. Maybe taking the hands above your head for a nice big good morning stretch. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. Rolling to one side, gently bringing yourself up. Thank you so much for joining me for today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment or a review. Let me know if there's something you are looking for and we can do another class as such. But thank you for taking time for yourself today. Namaste.